Hi, Miss Doris. Hi, Miss Joanna. How are y'all doing?
Hi, Miss Rachel.
Oh, hi, parents. What were y'all talking about?
We're talking about music garden classes.
Our favorite thing to do.
Yes.
Yeah, so music garden classes, we have two very strong cornerstones in our music garden classes. They would involve music, obviously, and movement. My favorite part of having music garden classes is singing along with the kids, helping them move along. And Joanna,
Yes.
I believe you've learned a lot about music and movement and how it ties with the ear.
Yes. So music and movement both involve the ear. The music part's obvious, right? Like our ears hear music, and so that makes sense. But what's actually interesting is the ear is the organ that also governs movement and balance and coordination. The ear governs two functions, the auditory function and the vestibular function. And both of those nerves connect to the same part of the brain, in the cerebellum. And when a child is actually born, those two nervous systems are completely separate and different. So you have your central nervous system, and that's operating as one unit when the child's born. And then you also have the muscular system, and that's functioning on its own and separately. But as a child develops, from birth all the way up to 4 and 5 years old, those systems are becoming interconnected and learning to communicate with each other. And so the ear is a really, really powerful organ for bringing those two systems together to operate as an interdependent system. And so music is a very handy tool to use the ear, and it involves movement and hearing.
And so it helps children to develop in their coordination.
Yes.
And so it helps children to not just listen, but also translate what they're listening into meaningful movement.
Exactly, and that's what we're all about, meaningful movement.
Cool, cool. So even as the ear is being activated, I think at the end of the day, when we want children to experience music, we don't want parents to get annoyed by, oh, here's an instrument and here's a kid going crazy and making like annoying sounds. And I don't know, like for me as a parent to be, I don't want to have, I don't know, a lot of constant noise that's meaningless. And I think in our music garden classes, we teach children that noise or music can be very, very meaningful in what we listen to, right? That would like, even with drums, I love one of Miss Doris's classes where she teaches us meaningful sounds with drums. Instead of just having kids go crazy with the drum, she talks about many different cool things. Miss Doris, would you like to demonstrate?
So, of course, when they get the drum in their hand, they're going to bang on it. But then I say, oh, that's a very nice loud sound. Forte, forte. But can you do piano?
So you introduce this language
So
early on?
We explore, yes. Oh, yes, they love words, especially
Complicated
words. Yes.
words.
So we teach them musical concepts and the terms for it. But then we explore the different sounds we can make with the drum. So some are
That's the
piano,
creative part coming out. Yeah.
and some are very loud, forte, forte. And then there's a stop sound, and there's a ringing sound. So with the drum, this is all guided experience. So you don't just give a child a drum and think they're going to learn something about music.
Right.
Yeah.
You really must be actively guiding their experience with it.
And the drum is a really handy instrument too, because it teaches finer, refined motions, right? It
Right.
involves, they get to touch it with their finger pads, and we know this is a really sensitive area for the children to develop.
So you can do
All of it.
a lot of different coordinations, hands together, hands alternating. Oh, they like that word too, alternating. And there's all of the music and movement in combination really helps get the child's body coordinated. So it's not, they're not learning just music. Music does so much more for the whole body and for the brain then.
And at this golden age, children are so tactile. They want to see, they want to touch everything, whatever that they see you doing, they want to mimic it. And even as we demonstrate to them how it can be meaningful, and when they listen to pieces of music, we want to teach them that they can respond to music very meaningfully. So we could tell them, hey, when you listen to the music and when it's soft, let's play our instruments really softly, to match it. And then even as they tap on it, they're doing it softly. And then when the music gets louder, they respond to it. And then after that, they start tapping even louder and louder and louder. And then suddenly in a crescendo, and then they'll go, and so the noise is now not just noise. They're actually making music and responding to music very meaningfully. Right?
But those tools have to be trained. We have to train them how to make soft sounds, how to make loud sounds, and then once they realize those, they're able to express themselves.
Yeah, and talking about fine motor skills, there was a lesson where I was teaching children how to hold the mallets, and I realized, they actually need to be trained.
Yes.
Like children tend to be like, how do we handle instruments? And well, often if we don't train them and we just give it to them as a toy, they end up breaking it or hitting each other with it. And so really, they need to know how to hold mallets properly. Would you like to show us how to do that?
Yes. So I always have my children learn to hold the mallets like this, and this gives them more control.
And like with your forefingers or pointers.
Yes, point
out.
fingers.
Okay.
And this allows them to be able to keep the steady beat in a controlled way as they learn to
And then there's like
hear that and respond to that.
And it's important that their elbows are free and they're not just leaning like this.
Right.
Using just their wrist. They use their
It's a
whole
whole body feel. Yeah.
So they'll just like go crazy and then just whack it anyhow, and then we use it with
Our resonator bars.
Ta-da!
Yes.
Let me hold it for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's really
Or the alternating.
Yeah. And it's really fun, and children enjoy, I guess, learning how to play with instruments, and they enjoy mastering the technique of it.
Yes.
And even as they learn, all these are percussion instruments that we first introduced to them before they get ready for a formal instrument, right? And even as they prepare for these percussion instruments, Miss Doris, how about babies? How do babies learn, even with shakers?
Well, we're shaking and there's music going on and they hear this sound to go with the music, but then we also shake on the baby so that they feel it and hear it at the same time. There's another interesting aspect of using instruments, and that is inhibiting, so that they have to wait for the right time before they make the noise. So we do a lot of stopping. Even babies can learn to stop with music. It's very powerful.
Self-control.
Very powerful. So, and just think how you want your children to learn self-control. The music, and especially in the music classes, they're learning self-control.
It's true, yes.
In a fun way.
Another instrument we use are the sticks. And even from early on, they're having to learn to do quarter note beats, but also eighth note beats and 16th note beats. So they're learning all of that.
And we don't call it that.
They have no idea that that's what it's called. Yeah, exactly. But
And
they're
so
feeling
all these
it, experiencing it.
actually contribute to them learning how to read music in future, because they'll be like, hey, I have heard this type of a rhythm before.
And they've also felt it and played
Yeah.
it, which is way different.
So it's helping them feel something concrete and a concrete experience, and putting it later on into abstract thought.
Those
When
are
they're
the readiness. The
when
readiness
they're ready for it a
activities.
little later, like maybe when they're 7 or 8 and ready to read notes and do all the complicated stuff, right?
Right.
Yeah, so cool. So I think giving them all these tactile experiences, it's really engaging in our music readiness classes, because it's their favorite way to learn. They learn through play, they learn through experiences, and it energizes them because they are doing something, right? And so parents, we hope that you've learned something today.
Yes.
A lot of things today. And for us, we enjoy teaching your children, and we hope that you can carry these experiences back at home.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You're welcome.